the constant thinking about your ex can really start to drive you crazy. You can get caught into the mode where you are ruminating about the past, the present, and basically just everything that the ex is doing or you're thinking about them doing is just caught up in your mind. And I've talked about this before, and this is a big part about the black hole thinking, but I wanted to just touch on it again because I know how difficult it can get, or it can be whenever you're in that mode where you're just thinking about everything that they're doing, or you're comparing your life to their life. You know, you're comparing what they're able to do compared to what you're able to do or not able to do. And getting caught in that line of thinking really isn't helpful to you. When that happens, you're not focused on your own steps to move forward. You're focused on basically the negative parts about your situation and what's going on. And you know, and I get it because I fell into the same category. You know, I mean, I can sit here all day long and tell you that you need to not do that. But the reality of it is that it's a phase that we go through, and it's really hard to stop it because you're so caught up in everything that's going on and trying to figure it out. And then you start looking at, you know, what is going on in your situation, what's going on in their situation, and how painful and how much it hurts you. Okay? In my situation, a lot of it would be like, okay, initially, when the first initial court order was set and the child support and the alimony, the temporary child support and alimony numbers were super high, what I would get caught up in is, you know, here I am trying, you know, basically every time I get paid, the money's all gone, and, you know, I mean, not able to really, you know, buy food or do anything or really be able to do anything with the kids. And then you're seeing and or hearing about what your kids are doing with the other person. You know, they're going out to movies, they're, you know, getting allowances, they're, you know, whatever the case may be. And then you start doing that comparison between your current situation and their current situation. Now, what I will say is in the beginning stages of this, typically the temporary numbers aren't the final numbers, and typically the temporary numbers are significantly worse for, well, I guess the payee than they are for the payer, payee or payer. Meaning that, you know, if you're shelling out a bunch of money, once things start getting settled and you get closer to things being done, more than likely that number is going to go down. Now, conversely, if you're on the other end of this and you're thinking, you know, wow, I'm getting a pile of money and they're paying it, which if they are, they're probably not a narcissist, but, you know, if you're in that situation, there's a good chance that final number is probably not going to be what that number is. Probably a good idea to save some money and just try to get some, you know, get a buffer set up and stuff like that to help you once things normalize. The problem with that mode, right? Like for me, when I was in that mode and I was comparing what was going on at the other house compared to what I could do, or what they were doing, and what, you know, I mean, just it doesn't necessarily even matter whether it's good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't matter. The problem is that every moment that you're spent thinking about whatever your ex is doing is counterproductive to your situation. It is, because every time you allow that into your mind, it just starts running away with all kinds of different thoughts that just have a, you know, just go all over the place. For instance, you can be thinking about the what they're doing or what they're able to do, and then that immediately starts going back into what happened. You know, then you start thinking about the past, and you start thinking about whether, you know, are they really what you think they are? Are they really a narcissist? Are you the narcissist? I mean, it's like every time you allow the thought of your ex to enter your mind, it really starts creating problems, and you have to be very careful about that. And I get that it's tough not to, you know, to not do it. For me, what finally happened is I just got tired of it. I got tired of feeling the way I was feeling, thinking about the things I was thinking, and feeling trapped. Now, you may be in that same situation. You may be feeling that right now. You may be, you know, just in that feedback loop of emotions and thoughts and memories and ruminations and all of that stuff. and you just feel completely overwhelmed. And, part of that is a normal process of this. Part of that is something that you're going to have to go through. But what I'm trying to tell you is you need to be able to take an objective look at it and realize that it's not helping you. And anything that's not helping you is also not helping your situation with your kids, because it keeps you more stressed, more anxious, more frustrated, more, negative thoughts rolling around in your head. And it's one of those things where the sooner that you can start making steps to recognize what you're basically putting yourself through and to start to try to change things, the better off you're going to be. Now, bottom line on this, and the main thing to really try to remember is, why does it even matter? Your situation, especially if it's stabilized, is your situation. If you fought the good fight and whatever you've done, you've laid out and this is your current situation, why does it even matter what your ex is doing, what they're getting away with, what's happening? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant anymore. And every time you think about that, just keeps you trapped in this moment, keeps you trapped thinking about them and thinking about how bad your situation is. The thing is that, and a lot of that can be true, but the thing is, the first number one thing to remember is you have been able to escape from that situation. And, you just need to let that sink in for a moment. You might go back and you might think about your situation and be confused on what was happening. More than likely, if you're at this channel, then that means there's a continuing pattern of emotional abuse that was there, that you weren't really happy. Yeah, there may have been some moments where you felt happy, or your ex, because it was convenient for them, allowed you to feel happy, but it wasn't really a good, positive situation for yourself and more than likely for your kids. And you need to remember that. You need to remember that you've escaped, that you have this opportunity to get away from that situation, to learn from it, to grow from it, and to never allow it to happen again. And that right there is a significant achievement. Now, I bring that up because there's a lot of times in the beginning stages of this that I lost sight of that I got so wrapped up into what was going on. I got wrapped up in the money. How much money I was paying her and how much I lost on that. So it was a negative thought. Then I was thinking about, initially it was like, okay, this is over. She's going to have to deal with real life. Well, honestly, she hasn't. She's been able to continue to live off me for a really long time. And that would drive me crazy. I would think, well, I have to go to work and she doesn't, she's just getting able to sit at home and do the exact same thing. Her life didn't change. Again, but why did it even matter? It was just one of those things that I was irritated about it, right? It's like I had escaped, but I was so focused on just wanting her to be exposed, wanting her to have to pay a consequence for everything that had happened. And I get it. A lot of us get caught up in that. And that's a reasonable experience. That's a reasonable response, not experience, a reasonable response, because there's so much stuff that has happened. And as you start learning more about it, and as you get more frustrated about it or more angry about it, you want it to be fair. Well, bottom line, it isn't fair. And because we get caught up in that negative thinking, we lose sight of the positives that we really, like getting away, having an opportunity to have a genuine life, having an opportunity to build a better relationship with our kids, having an opportunity to just put all this behind us, even though it takes a long time, especially when we have kids. But it's like that is the main gift. Everything else that you do is like icing on the cake. So, and I understand that if you're in the middle of this right now, if you're going through this right now and you are in that angry, bitter phase, it's going to be hard to hear this because you're going to be stuck in this mode thinking, no, I want them to pay. I want a consequence. I want them to be exposed. I want everyone to know what exactly it was and what happened. I get it. right? The thing is, you know, is there a chance that you could expose them? Yeah, potentially. If you did, is it really going to accomplish anything? The only way it really accomplish anything, if you're able to do it through a court of law and your family court order is changed to modify custody and visitations. Minus that, you're beating yourself up on something that is pretty much the way it's going to be. And every day that you continue to get stuck in that mode is another day that they're winning, because they still have emotional control over you. They still have the ability to push your buttons, get you angry, get you out of thinking whatever what you should be thinking about with your own life and building your own life, and you're stuck still in the mud with them. So this is why the black hole thinking is so important. And I'll link to, over wherever the heck it is, I'll link to the video where I talked about that. The reason I say that is just everything I've been talking about. You need to get them out of your head and out of your mind. You need to be focusing on yourself, your environment, and your interaction with your children. That's what's really important. And the secret on this, guys, is once you start doing that, once you figure that part out, the level of control and impact that your ex has on your life significantly starts to go down. Yeah, they're always going to be able to push your buttons, and when they use your kids, as pawns in this whole scenario, it's going to get to you. But every day that you progress on this, they have less control. Their ability to push your buttons or to say something stupid to you to get you all angry and get all those emotions to flare back up goes away. Now, the really interesting part about all this is they don't ever progress. They are going to be stuck in that mode trying to play those stupid little games and thinking about the person that they've built you out to be in their mind. In their mind, you're supposed to play a role, and as you start doing this, you're not playing that role anymore. You're taking your life back, and you're taking the power away from them. So I want to talk about this just because I know, and I've seen it in a lot of the comments recently, I know how hard this is. I trust me, I know how hard this is. And it's not something that I did overnight, and it took me a long time to get to where I am today. But you have to start taking those baby steps, start taking those active steps to improve your life. And guys, it will improve your life. So if you're struggling with this and you want to chat about it, put it in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you haven't already done so, please go over to the Dad Surviving Divorce website and sign up for the newsletter, so you can get all the nifty little notifications that I sent out through that. That's been growing. You guys have been doing that, so I really appreciate that. And I will chat with you guys in the next video. So take care.